Welcome to this adventure where I go off to explore the most obscure remote islands of Venice. So this here is Venice. It is very touristy. Venice is a top tourist destination and it is a very interesting place. And I'm going to do a separate video showing the lifts and just exploring the general area of Venice. As for this video, we're going to leave the centre of Venice and go off and explore the water bus network and see what is the most weird, little, rural, small island I can get to. Which island is going to be the most interesting? So let's get on a water bus and find out. So I'm going to first start off by going on water bus number 20. This route stood out to me because it doesn't go to the normal destinations that tourist routes go. In fact, Route 20 is a very obscure little route because although it does start off right in the tourist centre at San Marco Square, it then goes a different route. It heads off down to this weird little university island. So what is this weird little university island which is kind of out of the way of the normal tourist routes? Well, let's get on a boat and find out. And here I am at University Island. This is a very small and remote and quite obscure and quite weird little university. I don't think this is the main university, it's like a very small little thing out of the way of all of the tourists on this weird little island. Let's go and explore it. And it's got an original cone eco-disc lift. Strange art gallery. This is weird. What? No. Oh, that's just very weird. This University Island is so weird. What have we got? Accommodation, beds, something else, restaurant, sports facilities, barbecue. So then we get a boat back into the centre of town. Let's now get on another boat and try some more islands. go to this island here, which is San Giorgio. Now this is not an obscure island, this is a very touristy island. But don't worry, more obscure islands are coming up later in the video. First let's explore San Giorgio. So we now get on a boat along to the main complex of islands, just south of Venice. Again, this part is still quite a touristy section. We haven't yet got to the obscure islands yet, but let's take a quick look around. And let's take a look at the Hilton Hotel, which looks like an old industrial building which they converted. That looks interesting. Let's explore it. Right then, the next day I go back to the main central island of Venice, and today I'm going to get on a boat heading out northeasterly from the central island to head out to see the most rural, remote islands of Venice. Let's go! So I start off here at this boat stop and I'm getting on boat 12 heading out to the most rural parts of Venice. So boat 12 went to this island first, which is Cemetery Island. Now I chose not to get off at this one, I didn't really fancy it. I wonder why. So let's skip Cemetery Island. And along to the next grouping of islands, which is Murano. Now this is very touristy and looks pretty much as touristy as the centre of Venice. There's lots of glass manufacturing and glass blowing on this island, which has turned into a big tourist thing, and there was someone saying, it's free, come and take a look at the glass blowing. So I went in, then when I tried to take a look at it, they went, it costs €5 to take a look at the glass blowing, but we'll give it back to you as long as you buy something. But I didn't want to buy anything. Yeah, this is getting very touristy. This island's a very tourist place. So I only had a quick look at this island, although this island does have a lift in the supermarket here, which is a reasonably sized supermarket, even though this is on quite a small island. And the lift is a load of crap.
Oh fuck! VM! The shit version of VM. This is so bad. What is it about Italy and having these utterly terrible lifts? Oh, it's hydro, oh my.
Would you like to drink some sick? Well, it's perfectly drinkable, it's drinking water. At least that means you don't have to buy bottled water from the shops. So then, let's get out of this tourist area and go on to something else. So we go on boat 12 and we now continue the journey. And this boat actually goes quite a distance out, and considering these boats only run at 12 miles an hour, it does take quite a bit of time. It went past this island here, but the boat didn't stop. This island is a very small island, so that's probably why it doesn't stop. It's probably someone's private island. So continue heading out, and we now head along to this grouping of islands here, which is Burano. Let's take a look around Burano. This island is not as touristy as the other one, but it still has that sort of very Venice look. But it's slightly less touristy, so it's more of what Venice would look like if only Italians were in Venice and it didn't have all of the external tourism. So let's take a look around this island. Now, we're now going to leave boat 12 and we're now going to get on a different boat, which is a shuttle boat, boat 9. Route 9 is a very short little boat service just connecting Burano to a little very remote island to the north of it. So this is a very short route. This boat just goes up and down connecting these two islands all day and up to this island here, which is Torcello Island. And this island does feel like you're a very long way out of Venice now. Let's take a look around.
Not much tourist bridge.
And this here on this island is a very rare example where both humans and ducks go to the exact same resource for the exact same reason. So then I head on boat 9, the shuttle boat, back to Burano. From here I then get on an express boat which takes me down to Punta Saboni. This island here is next door to Lido Island. This island here is not as much built up as Lido Island, and to be honest I didn't really find anything of interest on it. So then I now take a boat down to Lido Island. This is Venice Beach. This here's what Lido Island looks like. This is the beach resort of Venice. So taking a look around the Lido Beach Resort and into a very posh hotel. This hotel is very overpriced, looks very posh. Let's take a look around. And the lifts are Syncone NMX 11 lifts. Although I seem to be running these lifts a bit slow, it goes about 1.3 meters a second. This model can go faster than this. And now we go along to a theatre, which looks very nice, but just wait till you see the lift. The lift is utter shit.
Oh no. This probably looks so good, but the lift's so shit. You always know when your lift's shit, when your capacity gets reduced to 3 kilograms, 4 people reduced to 3 because there's any problems.
Along to the next hotel. This one's the only hotel on the Lido Beach Resort actually has a good lift. This one's got a Schindler Eurolift. Let's go and find some more remote islands. So I actually go back to where I first started today, back along to here, get a boat out again, back past Cemetery Island, back past Murano Island, but this time taking a different route. This is the route to Sant'Erasmo Island. On the way there, the boat goes past this island down here, which has to make a little detour to get to. This is Vigno Island. After Vigno Island, the boat now goes up, and it also passes by this very tiny island, Lazaretto Nuovo. This island is so close to Sant'Erasmo, you would have thought I'd built a bridge, and there's only one boat an hour going here. Imagine having to go from this tiny island to the island next door, which is swimming distance, but you're not actually allowed to swim here, and you're having to wait for your 1 hour boat to go a distance of just 130 metres. Yeah, that's right, you have to wait for a boat to go that short distance. But for some reason today, the boats weren't stopping at this very small island, so I had to skip this one. So along I go to Sant'Erasmo Island. Now this here is what I feel is Venice's most rural island. Because as soon as you get off the boat here, it feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. In fact, the main boat for some reason couldn't actually get to some of the boat stops. So you actually had to change boat to continue the journey along this island. So now we've changed boat to a smaller boat, we can now continue the journey. This is a very slow journey to get out here. Yeah, this does take a very long time to get out to his island, so I do feel very sorry for the people that live here. Although with that said, the people here probably like the remoteness. So let's now take a look around Sant'Erasmo Island. Now on this island there's some very small little tiny cars or pickups or whatever you want to call them. They are tiny and so old looking. In fact, these are so tiny I'm not even sure if I could physically fit in the driver's seat of this. This almost looks like a children's toy, it's so small, even though it isn't. This thing can actually take 2 passengers, 1 person in the driver's seat and 1 person surfing the back of it. I actually asked one of the locals if I could surf this, but he couldn't speak English or understand me. And the reason why I'm guessing they drive these very small vehicles on this island is probably because they don't have to pay all of the tax and insurance and stuff. It's a bit similar in the UK, because if you live on the Scilly Islands in the UK, there's actually lots of tax exemptions on the basis that it's a tiny island. You're only running your vehicle a very short distance around the island, so realistically I don't expect you to pay tax, and I believe it's probably a similar situation on Sant'Erasmo. So this here is how you get your boat into the water. Actually, I think it's probably better actually to have your boat in the water all the time. I'd actually much prefer to take mine out when I'm not using it. It'd be nice if you had something like this in Medway. It'd make it so much easier that that's going down now. and that was going to be the end of the video because that's all of the rural islands filmed. But there's another island I need to show you first, which is Venice's, do I dare say, weirdest island. This is also definitely Venice's most posh and expensive island. This is Marriott Island. There is a free VIP shuttle boat to get to this island. It was actually the fastest boat I went on in Venice because it actually went 20 miles an hour. And this island here is an entire island dedicated to a posh hotel. For £500 a night, you can stay on this private hotel island. Very overpriced, but also very interesting. And basically, I managed to get on this island without being questioned. So let's go and explore it. This island is very posh looking. It was also ever so hot this day, and I felt quite rough because the heat was just bombing down on you. You could barely even think it was so hot. This island is incredibly interesting. There's staff everywhere to help you around the island. Every time you walk past a member of staff, they always ask how you're doing and stuff. Like, all the staff are very well trained. It's incredibly luxury. I feel I stood out because I was the only person on the island who wasn't wearing a suit, but no one seemed to notice. And the lifts are some older original eco discs which have been modernised by code and now look like newer eco discs, but there's certain little details that give it away as being an older eco disc. And there's also some original unmodernised eco discs. So that there is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this adventure to Venice's most remote rural islands.
Good idea.